Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream where we talk about everything to do with the stock market, crypto markets, and of course, commodities around the world. And boy, oh boy, do we have a big stream here for Friday morning session. It's been some wild futures action. We've seen crypto come out of the gates massively. Bitcoin, Ethereum smashing through key levels, especially Bitcoin. Very impressive how much that's gained recently. And we've had a full reversal on the Nasdaq and S&P 500 coming into the first day of the month. How's everyone feeling this morning? You feeling bullish or bearish, guys? Let us know. Let us know right now. William Kreth, thank you very much. We love you too. We love you too. Great to have everybody here. It's going to be an interesting day, to say the least. I tell you what, I expected this to be here. I posted it in the public Discord, actually. I had a bit of a chat with it was Gold River in there, and we were talking about whether we expected the market to regain back into the open. I certainly did. He certainly did. Shout out. I totally agree with you, sir, that this was going to happen. But we were down as much as 14,573-ish during the Asian European session. We've now recovered that. Let's have a look at the 5-minute chart here. This is the Nasdaq. Notice where we're about to open. Any reminders? 14,750, 760, exactly where we've found previous supports on the futures. It makes sense. Yeah, this is always the place the market likes to open. A key resistance, a key support. If you were a bear, you possibly could be licking your chops for some action on Friday, because this is the zone that the bears come back in. Just like yesterday, we were trapped within an area. We closed out. I'm sure many of you guys did take shorts. We've come back to test the zone. Let's take this into the QQQ because I want to just quickly show you what I mean. Close market yesterday, 357.73. Pre-market, 358.77. So pretty much same level. Let's take a look at the SPX. SPX closed at, or we'll use SPY just because we've got the pre-market in it. So SPY closed at 429, currently opening at 430.86. So really what's happening here is we've got a market that looks like it's falling. It's very hard to, really think about this market that it's struggling or it's doing well. It really does look like the bears are in control here. The S&P is probably the best indicator for the close on Friday. Here is the line. Here is really the big support, that 430 line. And we close underneath. The Nasdaq's already gone underneath. This is the big kahuna. This is the big market. We do the peak, the trough, the lower peak, and the lower trough. I'm thinking 420 in the books and 405 very likely. Is that where I expect the correction to end? If it does occur, yes. Yes. Jimmy Vieira says market is hanging off a cliff with one arm. It really is. That's true. It is pretty much hanging right off there. Now, people are saying the market's going up. What is the reason that you are thinking the market's going up today? Supposedly it's good corporate news. That's the weakest excuse I've ever heard. Good corporate news. The crypto market certainly looks very impressive. I just want to show everyone this and we'll get back into the indices. Fantastic. Look at that breakout. Breakout, and then just slammed through that 45K. Phenomenal move. And you would think there's a little bit more in it too. 48.5 before the next resistance. Very, very strong moves here on the crypto. Bitcoin goes first. The other coins a bit sluggish to get started. If Bitcoin can hold, so let's say Bitcoin starts to consolidate, what happens? The other coins come with it. Ethereum, another one here. It's closed above, or it's about to close above that 3,200. Let's take a look at the 2-hour. 2-hour is above. Very strong looking chart. Another key resistance being smashed. Bang, bang, closed above. Every time you see another time frame, let's say the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the daily close above the 3,250 or 3,200, it points to even further pressure going in on this crypto space to the 36 level. So some pretty phenomenal stuff going on there in Ethereum. We go over to ADA. It's much weaker. Where is ADA right now? Our downward trend line. So for crypto fans, this one's not out of the gates yet. ADA, a much weaker coin currently. Even one of my favorites, KSM, a much weaker coin currently. It has broken through, but it's only up 5.4% in comparison to Bitcoin's 8%. Very, very big. Bitcoin close to a record 1 hour close run. Is that true, Finkin79? Cool. Someone said they're praying it's bullish. Someone said they love volatility. What I'm going to say is what I always say, and that is you've got to be fast, you've got to be nimble, and you've got to be quick, especially in these volatile markets. It's easy just to say, I'm going to buy the dip, leave it there for 5 months, come back and say, I was right, dude. See, I'm the best. How good am I? Well, that's pretty easy. The question is, if you want to trade indices every day or you want to trade stocks or anything like that, you've got to be fast, you've got to be nimble, and you have to be realistic about where the next zone is. You'll find that when you get into a trader's mindset versus an investor's mindset, let's say you were looking at this link chart, you might look at this and say, okay, well, I think there's a high chance we're in the channel, just like every other crypto. I'm expecting this. The expectation is just underneath 30. So that's my expectation. Do I know it's going to go to $50? No. An investor might think that, but a trader is just going to say, this is the most accurate representation of what I can see on the charts. The charts are telling me we break through the resistance, we enter the participation zone, and then we can crack through to a much, much higher level. We hit here, and you know what? I'll be descaling or I will take my profit. That's what a trader thinks. An investor thinks, I'm going to buy it here and I'm going to hodl that beastie. And I think Chainlink one day is worth $100. That's an investor's mindset. A little bit different. We talk to both on this channel. Obviously, I think both have incredible merits. And I love investment. I love trading. I love, hodling, diamond hands, whatever you want to call it. It's all good, but it's all a little bit different mentality. Trade the chart in front of you, says Rob C. Yes, that's correct. It's a good statement, Rob C. Thank you very much. Many people could learn a lot from that comment. So we're going to open on basically the support becomes resistance on these markets. All of these markets, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, they're all going to open up kind of around that area where they're finding previous supports, and it's going to act at least initially as resistance. One of the warning signs we might have from a futures market, let's say this NASDAQ, and why I brought it up, is the 2-hour 20 moving average. You'll notice every single time where it is right now, it has tended to sell off this level. Now, this has become a reoccurring event. And what you want to do with a reoccurring event is you want to recognize the first touch, the second touch, and then you can look to do the third, the fourth, the fifth if you want to. Eventually it will break. Of course, we know these things don't last forever, but it's interesting that that's exactly where we're going to be, or very similar to that, coming into the opens. Fake market futures, but it does make sense. I posted on the Twitters today, big channel, which we've talked about for a while, this one here. And in my perfect scenario, if we were looking at a perfect scenario of where I would love the market to go, let's get rid of this stupid line. There we go. In my perfect scenario, I would like the market to do two things. They make so much sense to me that I would be incredibly happy should these corrections happen. First one, I would love to see the NASDAQ come down and test our bottom range. That will put us at around a 14,000, 14,100. Do you guys like this level? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. From a technical standpoint, it has all the hallmarks of a standard correction. Around a 10% pullback, perfect. That's step one. That's exactly what a technical correction is, 8 to 10%. It has a great trend line. It has previous buy support. And it also lines up with one of our other concepts, which is the weekly 50 exponential moving average on the S&P 500. If we could get here, let's just say this all went bearish and it closed this week, big week this week. Remember, getting under here, very rare that you have a bullish candle followed by a big bear bust that goes underneath, should that occur. What a zone. 4,050. There's got to be some buyers around here. Previous buy support back in the June period now could be a very good buy support from at least a technical standpoint. I like both these areas. We've detailed how the 50 exponential moving average on the S&P 500 is a very common moving average for these little mini corrections that occur. And if it gets through the 50, you better be prepared, because it's actually pretty rare it does that. But when it does, it tends to be a bigger, longer term correction. Look at this. 2012, 50 buy, 50 buy, 50 buy, 50 through, bad. 50 buy, 50 buy, 50 buy, 50 buy, 50 through, bad. 50 buy, 50 buy, 55, and then the pandemic, terrible. Is that rocket science, or is that just one of the best moving average pickups that you've ever seen? I would like to go with it's both. And if anyone wants to buy me a ticket on SPCE's next flight, let me know. I don't know how much they cost. It's probably like $250,000. Anyway, yeah, the 50 exponential, guys, highly underrated moving average on the weekly chart for the S&P 500 correction periods. And I think we probably just had a look together then at something that will hold up, or at least it holds pretty well statistically over time. Pet Brett says, you guys say correction, then 10%. I'm like, AMC does this every week. Yeah, of course, but it's totally different investing, Pet, like Brett. Like AMC is not the normal market. And penny stocks are also not the normal market. There's markets within markets. I think the thing that people often don't understand about maybe like an AMC situation or other things is that traditionally there's huge leverage and huge gears at work where people will maybe buy like a 3 times leveraged index, or they might buy options on stock, or they might play very large kind of positions or all of their money in the stock market itself. An AMC position is obviously big because we've seen some people make some massive money, but it's nowhere near the size of the real market. And we all know that. So when the real market's doing things, people in just a little smidgen of movement make even more money than all the big players in, AMC. It's huge money at risk here. So it's a little bit different. And yes, you are right. 10% sounds like not much, but it's a ton when it comes to these markets. Bitcoin's running. Yeah, we like Bitcoin. We talked about it before. Everyone's talking about the run now, so probably there's a little bit of a sleep. Stephen Aldridge says, Tom and Kevin are YouTube must watch if you're an investor. I appreciate that, Stephen. If you're talking about the Kevin I think you're talking about, that means that we're about 1.5 million subs different, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. What's the exponential EMA? It's the 20, the 50 exponential DG, and the 200 simple moving average. So yes, S&P 500 at the critical support here today. If we go underneath and we close, next big support's going to be 4,200-ish, 4,250. Pretty much just go over to the SPY. We'll be looking for these kind of 420 level on the SPY. And then if the SPY gets cracked through 420, the next big zone is going to be 405. And I'm hoping that's the end of the correction. Now, some people say, oh, but Tom, I want it down here. I would rather a generalized healthy correction than a fully fledged tank fest. But if it does get through the 50, we've already demonstrated it usually tends to mean something sicker is going on in the market, and there's a further leg down later on. And I think that's what I wanted to really emphasize here today. If the 50 doesn't hold, there is a tendency based on previous history that it is a bigger pullback firstly, and that the rally that gets caused, let's say it goes underneath and then it rallies off, is usually fake. And you saw that a few times before then. So we'll be talking about it. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We've got already almost 1,000 people joining us this morning. Thanks so much, guys. But yeah, 50 exponential, very much an underappreciated moving average. Scott Morgan, $10. Cheers to the last open stream. No worries, Scott, man. Enjoy cuddling the missus and see ya at the close. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, next week we will be starting the closure streams. Early mornings for me, and I think a very cool time to trade. The close, highly underappreciated. I'll be making an announcement over the weekend. I'll obviously share with you guys what time it's going to be, and if you're a subscriber, you'll get a little alert and everything. But realistically, the close is where it's kind of at, and I've got to do it for health reasons as well. Like getting up at 1:30 in the morning and doing this, it's not conducive with trading the Australian market as well. Let's move through some more stocks. IWM, what have we got going on here? Well, we have a mixture of nothingness. This is a trap market, and you should use option strategy styles on this if you know what you're doing, because you're in a channel. You can make good money from a market like this. You can also trade the extremities. So you can trade the bottoms and the tops. Towards the middle is usually where I like to take the profit. Some people will leave to the top. But what you'll notice in a channel is that when it comes down, see how it goes straight to the middle, but it doesn't go to the top? So when you're trading a channel, often the best place to take your profit off is actually right in the middle. So let's say you've got like you buy here, tight stop loss, and you think, oh, I'm going to take it all the way there. Highly suggest scaling in the middle. Scaling in the middle of the channel can be a powerful strategy. Let's take a look at Tesla. We'll go over some stocks. Tesla did come down. Didn't come down much, 0.75%. The Nasdaq got tanked. This is a fairly good pull up. So it's 0.75 is not too bad. It's 0.44 in the pre-market. And we've detailed a few times that we think this market is a little bit trapped, coiling, getting ready, hopefully, for the next big move. So we've got 760, 762, previous resistance being a great support for us. And if we do end up closing above all these wicks, remember, long leg doji here, indecision, guess what? Amazing. Imagine if we get through 800. I want to ask the chat right now, where do we go next, chat? Community out there, Tesla, after 800, where do we go? Richard said, Tom, if you were a stock, you would be an investment. Oh, thanks very much, Richard. Very nice. Victor Lau says 1K. Scott Morgan 881. Alan Culler 880. Big Dipper 880. Caro Family 825. And Carlos Waby says to the moon. Well, I'm not going with the 3K scenario, that's for sure. What's 3K scenario? So that would be basically a $2.1 trillion company. Not yet, Sunshines. Not yet, Sunshines. But 880 makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's a great level. Huge amount of resistance. There's a lot of free space here. I see the 825. I do see the 825 that a few people mentioned. But yeah, I would like the 880 should it go through. Fantastic. Chuan says that's the Kathy Wood crap. Yeah. 3K, look, it's easy to make crazy calls if you put horizons on them that never end. So if you say, and she's been right, don't get me wrong, but say you say, but Bitcoin 500,000, I could say it. It doesn't mean I think it's going to happen anytime soon. And I always go to market capitalization. So like for Bitcoin, I could see it at the end of the year. I'm not even kidding you, at like $90,000. Now you might think, oh, Tom, are you insane? I don't think that's an insane call. I think that's very possible should we see this September, which into October right now, we're already seeing a bit of a run. But I've maintained this idea that November and December could be phenomenal months for Bitcoin. Remember, they were in 17. October into November was crazy. So that's maybe not crazy. Maybe not crazy. But yeah, 3, 4, 500,000. It just seems very unlikely to me in this current cycle. Terry M says 90K agreed. Yeah, I think 100,000. I think it'll stop just before. It'll be kind of like a normal stock. It'll go, I'll show you one. Let's have a look at this. You'll learn the ways of the sneaky markets. Look at them. It's just like this. Here's our AMD. Oh, yeah, to the sun, to the moon. Oh, we hit about 96. Oh, bugger. We hit about 100, just under 100, 90-ish. Oh, bugger. That's what I see happening in Bitcoin. It'll get to some pretty phenomenal level. The FOMO, the frothing will be real. People will put all their cash into it and all these types of things. Everyone will be talking about it, the elevator theory, remember, and then it will stop just before the special level and then dump itself. Just like it didn't quite hit 20K on a lot of the networks back in 17, that's the type of thing that will occur. All right, well, we have a market that's at resistance. We know that if the bull case is going to happen today, it needs to pretty much get through this resistance and keep moving forward. We've got plenty of key stocks at key supports. We've got Apple looking sick, and we know Apple will control the indices to a degree. We've got support, 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 weak candle, weak candle, weak candle. That's 3 weak candles in a row. It's hard to look at this chart. Just like we said yesterday, it's hard to look at a lot of these hyperstock charts and go, oh, I'm so bullish right now. Where is it easy to be bullish? Gets back up, closes above here, smiley face to victory. You can have some teeth as well. Smiley face. Once we get, that's a bit scary. But if we get through this area, that would be fantastic. But with these 3 candles, what does the community think about Apple right now? We close underneath here. The bears might be celebrating next week because I really could feel our trend lines coming. 135. That would be early Christmas for me. 130, 135 would be early Christmas and our glorious trend line. Fantastic. If it gets underneath there, then we start talking 120. And I don't know if I want it to go to 120. 130, 135. We'll be cool with this. James Fleming wants everybody to know. James, we're coming for you on Monday if you're wrong. James Fleming says, market down 3% today. Screenshot this. So someone can do that if they'd like. Chuan says, nah, Apple supply is stuffed too. Yeah, well, I got the new phone, but I've heard reports that people are waiting over a month for the new phone already, or 2 months. Teslas have the great batteries. They do. Nikhil Sharma. So don't some sometimes blow up or something? Nikhil Sharma, 150 rupee, I think. Hi, Tom. Why are the stock markets at or near all-time highs when in reality the common man is suffering due to inflation? Well, it's just money flow. So, basically, think about the big gap between the rich and the poor. Maybe we'll unfortunately have to do that on the channel at one stage. It's an economic factor in the future. The mass discrepancy between people that are doing well and people that are doing poorly is never been larger. The wealth gap in America is extreme, and I'm sure you guys in America are very well aware of this. It's the unfortunate facts of what happens during these periods. The rich, in this case, have doubled or tripled their wealth in the last 12 months in comparison to other people that obviously have lost their jobs and potentially gone backwards multiple years. So really, one of the main reasons is the huge amount of stimulus. And we all know stimulus equals a lot of free cash, a lot of flow, which equals leverage. And when you get leverage into a market, it creates a eventual bubble. So the real solution there is lots of liquidity and tons of leverage. Joseph DeSousa, $4.99. Hey, Tom, when you buy a spread call option on a stock and the stock drops instead of goes up, well, that's unfortunate, can you make a profit that way also? Thanks again. So when you're saying if you buy a spread call, so you're obviously looking for it to go bullish and the stock's dropping, you will lose on that spread call, as in it will reduce in value. So I'm not sure what, if you're talking about if you use a put spread instead, then yes, you can certainly make it, or you can sell a call spread and make money from that. If you want to know more, I would suggest you maybe look at our options course. But yeah, realistically, not from that strategy, that will literally lose. The strategy you're looking for is going the other way. AMC short squeeze started yesterday. Yeah, I got asked to look for that today. Knock Knock becoming a YouTube member again. Thank you very much, Knock Knock. Appreciate it, sir. If you think the market is in a bubble, then what is crypto? Crypto is an alternative asset that has got a huge amount of sentiment behind it by millennials and a whole bunch of other people. Plus, it's off ledger to a degree. So there are reasons why people like it. And there's tech there. I'm not a hater on the crypto markets, guys. I don't quite get the NFT craze. I mean, I'll get into the NFT option of the NFT in the future. I see where I believe it's going, and I think it's all to do with video games and gambling. Yeah, that's where I think NFTs are. Unfortunately, it's NFTs, video games, and gambling, And what's going to happen is hideous regulation. That's what I believe. Let's take a look at AMC. But buying little pictures online, that's only the beginning. It's all going to come down to video games and gambling and things like that. So AMC started to squeeze potentially yesterday. There was some announced, but I don't really care about the announcement. All I care about is the key levels. So it certainly bounced hard. It then sold off near the close, and you can see it's 4.52% in the pre-market, 39.78. So it is more interesting than it's been in the last couple of days. It's sold at the resistance, which means it's still acting technically. That's a tick. We like technicals with AMC. It closed right around the previous support, which should have acted as resistance. So you'll notice that's where the closure happened. So while it's up here in the morning, I guess what you're kind of expecting is this. Ideally here. Then we move through and we get up to this zone. And once we crack that zone, then we can move back to 48.11. So I have not changed these lines since we last stopped looking at it because it got boring. And we still have very similar lines. It doesn't mean you're missing out on AMC. I think the big point here is probably around 42. And while you might say, oh, but Tom, it's $2 off that, at 42, you not only crack last time's high, but you get that hype, you get that mass amount of people FOMOing in, and that creates the Wall Street bets, the stock twits. You know how it works, the hype basically throughout it. It also gets through all of these moving averages, the 4-hour 200, the 2050 crosses, the previous resistance. It allows for that flow into 48. So I probably like it past here into 48, then past 48 into 52. And at this stage, I'm sitting back and chilling or scaling in if I have some kind of bullish intention. I'm really just, sitting back and just chilling here. Brent McLean says NFT is the future. NFT is something. It's something. Nick Calhor, $1.99. Can you check out Neo off the 200 here? Volume up with some pictures of kangaroos. So are you talking about Neo the stock? Or are you talking about some other Neo the crypto? I need to know these things. I assume it's the crypto. Can you just let one of the mods know, Nick? I don't know which one it is, so I need to know that. Ulrich Nielsen, DKK, $20. HYUD and watch SR levels. Do you see? Let's have a look. HYUD, Hyundai Motors. Weekly. Yes, it is on the support. This is a good support level. You are correct. Previous big range. Go to the line chart, give you the closure price. You can probably get a little bit more accurate with your support resistance lines. There we go. At the moment, it looks kind of weak. If you want to get big bull on this, you could start to scale. You could have like an investment kind of level here that you're excited about. But realistically, until it gets back above here, it's not showing signs of strength. If anything, it's just showing signs of weakness. You got 2050 on the weekly almost crossing down. You got rejections here, long leg doji, rejection candle, long leg doji, decision made. The story in the charts is bad. It's a nasty story. And when you have nasty story, you must wait for turnaround. An investor might come in and say, I'm going to buy this zone. A trader would unlikely buy too much here. They would scale and they would look to get a close above 46 and then push it to 52. Hopefully that helps. NFTs are going to be used for fractional ownership, in my opinion. Yes, very possible. Absolutely. Very possible. But it'll be kind of like created. I think it's like this is stage one. It's kind of like the Bitcoin was stage one. This is stage one, and then we'll crash again on it, and then we'll come back with like a phoenix, and that will be cool. Chronically Sam says NFTs will be huge one day. Not quite there yet, but exciting times. Agreed completely. Michael Hassan, $5. Hey, Tom, take a look at FET for me, both short term and long term. Next August, they refinance their debt conversion with 10 million shares outstanding. Okay, so this is FET. I do have that crypto coming in. Neo Healthcare stock. Thank you very much. We'll check that one out. I wasn't sure if you meant Neo. Somebody spelt it wrong the other day, and they meant Neo, N-I-O. So, yeah, we'll do the healthcare stock, Nick, very soon. FET. Nice breakout. If you picked it up, you did well. Good volume on the breakout too. That's a smiley face breakout. Big smiley face breakout there, sir. Congrats. Very good. Very good. So short terms hit the first resistance. Fantastic buying there. If you saw any quality chart that did that, you would be very happy. The volume is incredible and exceptional. You are going into earnings, so that's going to be one of your major concerns. Let's go to the weekly. 24. I think I would draw a resistance there. I'd probably go the next $2. So I'd go 26 and I would consider scaling and waiting for a closure. And I kind of envision this. And then the long side if it's going to come in. Long term, you are looking at a decent recovery. Not sure if you could go with the trend. I think you can because that only bounced below and then instantly bulled. So you probably got like a little bit of a trend line occurring here. And you're looking for $40 over the long term. Should the company get the fundamentals you need? David Wedderfoot, new member. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate your support, man. Welcome to the community. Thanks so much, man. We've got Reese Ludlow, $5. No message from Reese, but thank you very much for your support here. Maybe if you did send something, the mods will pick it up, hopefully. Okay, let's do NEO. And this is Neogemetics. Strong open, 14% up. Assume an announcement. If it holds above 52, wow, that would be big. Nasty sell-off candle, bullish, closes above. Wow. So like bang, bang, and then it goes up. It needs to hold today. You can see, wow, it just dropped. Oh, it just went up 4 extra percent. Look at it go. It's an animal, 19% now. That's crazy wild pre-market. Look, it's in nursing services. It's in healthcare. I wouldn't be surprised for some profit taking early. And I would watch like a hawk this resistance and hope it holds above. Because if it does, it's a good bullish sign. It's almost like some people would almost say like an inverse head and shoulders. I don't care so much about that. I just care if it holds this zone. Next stop 60. But I think here, whatever this news is, if it's good enough, you could be looking at, back into the all-time highs and the 70 kind of train. Nice breakout if it can hold. Very good. We got a message here from Yogendra. Great to have you back, Yogendra. 200 rupees. Hi, Tom. Can you please have a look at Bank Nifty? Oh, man. Yogendra always gets me to look at Bank Nifty. Always looks at Bank Nifty. Look at this market. 20 moving average on the weekly, still the better correction point, sir. Overall resistance becoming support. If the US market drops, this market will still end up taking a bit of a tank. I think it's on support. So you have 20, 20, 20 pick up. Very aggressive index, though. You're starting to probably wonder when your correction's coming. And I would draw a line across 36,000 for yourself there. Sure, but what you're investing in now in crypto or NFTs might not be the mature form of it. That's correct. That's why you've got to be very careful about splitting. How do you mean it will relate to gambling, the NFTs? NFTs will be integrated into items. So it'll be like an item with an NFT, and then you'll collect that NFT, you'll pay money for it, You'll fight the NFTs against each other. Believe me, it'll be like Pokemon NFTs. It's already happening. That's going to be the first big iteration of it, and then it'll go from there. Reese Ludlow, $5. Do themed ETFs like ARK, KSTR rise and fall more based on the value of their holdings or on sentiment about the ETF? So it's an interesting point. So you have like LICs, so like listed investment companies, and sometimes they'll trade at an actual negative to their underlying stock. So it might be even as much as 5 or 10% because people lose faith in the managers. It's crazy, but it's true. That's actually what happens with listed investment companies. RK, the problem with RK is what happens was it was such a massive investment. So many people went crazy that Kathy Wood's fund wasn't really scalable correctly in the stocks that she liked to buy. So they all became bubbles. So we saw those bubbles occur into things like TDOC, occur into Square, occur into everything else, and they all tanked hard. And I think it's partly because Wall Street didn't like it, that she was kicking everyone else's ass. But I also think that at the same time, it was because she picked companies that were relatively smaller. They grew exponentially. And then at that end, remember in January, she could do no wrong. Everyone was investing. People in South Korea, were going crazy for her fund. Her funds grew from 3 billion, 5 billion to 50 billion. It's a big expansion. And because she has such huge holdings in those companies, when the hype kind of died down from her and they started underperforming, I think that has also a little bit of an underlying effect on some of her smaller holdings. This is my opinion, but yeah, I do. Thank you very much as well to the 1,150 people joining us. Appreciate it, guys. So markets opening right around their key points. We expect the US 500. Let's have a look at the SPX. Closed at 43.07. We could get some resistance selling off around 43.50. So rally up to this point. Anything up to this point is still not necessarily incredibly bullish. We get through this point. Oh yeah, it gets much better. Then we talk about 43.85. And we start talking about a recovery past that point. So for the bears, where you want to see bears come back in, if you are a bear today, 43.50, which it's about 25 points away. This will be a fairly bearish point right there. Underneath this 4,300 is obviously going to be a very bearish point. And anything in between here, the buying of the dip that's going on this morning, it could be very well stopped right there. Remember, this is Friday. This is options expiry day. And when we took a look at the options, we noticed that really, if you could manipulate it perfectly on the SPY, what you would be looking at doing is setting it back to around this level and cleaning it up. If we could clean the options right here between this zone and this zone, all of Wall Street would have the biggest smiley face going into the weekend possible. They would make optimum profits. And I'll show you what the optimum profits look like. This is the chart. This is where all the big SPY options are. Here's the puts that are going to expire worthless, most likely. Here's the calls that are most likely going to expire worthless. And here's the two that if Wall Street could slam it in between that zone right there. So if they could say, oh, hey, can we close it right here, baby? About that, 436, they would have the biggest smiley face, crayfish dinners for everyone, free piccolos all weekends, and someone will get a house deposit because you know what? They'll be so happy. So happy. It makes sense. Yeah. This is why we look at these options. Put calls and, of course, put walls and call walls. They help us with our technical analysis. Just understand that the market will wait for expirations and then be allowed to move through to the next level. And when you see it happen, if you can get hold of currency charts, it's very similar. Biker Dude said, I had SPCE at 42, learn my lesson. Oh, I feel bad for you, man. But thank God you learned a lesson. Thank God you learned a lesson because, yes, SPCE is nasty. Let's move over some other charts. Square, it's up in pre-market here, but still looks sick. I don't see the strength here in Square, unfortunately, at this stage. So that's, and if you're looking bearish, hey, maybe it's there, but there's better stocks. Apple, we've done that one. Perfect support. We'll find out whether it is a buy the dip. Amazon, still looking weak from yesterday's close. Still looking around that 3,200. I don't know. This chart doesn't do it for me, guys, for the bull side. Does that do it for anyone else? Anyone else like this tasty dip? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Google looks really bad. We mentioned that yesterday. Still looks really bad. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly 20. Geez, Google's run, it probably, really deserves a further pullback. So again, another chart. These big FANG stocks don't look great. End phase. Let's go down to the daily. Another one that just looks a bit sick. Microsoft still looks horrible in the buyback. These are what's pushing the market down. ARK on the support, technically. ARK G on the, probably pretty close to the support, but not quite there. Beam getting close to that bottom support. That's a good level for Beam, around 82. Edit hit our support yesterday. It's gone up a little bit. CRISPR underneath. Don't know what to think about CRISPR. I'm just leaving that. SPLK, good rally. I still like this stock. I'm still hodling for the longer term here on SPLK. It's boring though. CRM still looks really good. TDOC looks horrible. Barber still looks down to me. There's nothing really cool about Barber yet. Possible 130. Baidu. Nope. I'm going to start cutting a few of these stocks off, actually. We don't need to cover so many of these. Twilio. Be careful here if you're buying the dip. You need to get through this previous support to feel good. So what is that level? It is 330. Twilio's still a little sick. NVIDIA hovering around the kind of buy zone. We've got the trend line as well underneath. If you like NVIDIA, it's not the worst area I've ever seen. Pins, another one that's weak. Tan, get rid of that. We don't need that now. Roku, still low. Etsy, about support. DKNG, this is our fast, quick TA, by the way. So we're just going through levels and looking for key zones. 48 is a good support. So what we're looking for here is a little bit of lightning bolt action. As we know, DKNG can run hard when retail get hold of it. So that could be good. Airbnb on the 20, if you like it, hit that support yesterday. Long leg doji here as well. So potential for this to go through. And did you guys see yesterday in Netflix? I mean, we've been talking about Netflix's chart so much better. Look at Netflix. It's a tank because it has a mega breakout on the channel. We test, we create a series of higher lows, and we're tanking it. We've got the plan of 640, 650, and it's doing a great job. That's a good technical. Chad, I agree. You would get into NFT art if it wasn't so bad. Yeah, some NFT art's getting better. Barber just keeps getting nastier and nastier. That's correct. Ronald Brown, $1. Thank you very much, Ronald. Appreciate it, sir. And Joseph DeSousa says $4.99. I only ask about the spread option because my account is up even though the stock was down and I was confused. So if you have a bull call spread, it's possible that the implied volatility has increased. So what's happened is because options have gone up so much in terms of like the actual cost of them due to the massive VIX. Remember, it's all about VIX, the volatility, the implied volatility. What's happened in your situation is the stock hasn't moved very much. So it might have only come down a little bit, but the whole market's gone crazy. And that's pushed your implied volatility. Also, really check. I would suggest you check your option to make sure you do have what you think you have. Knock, knock, $5. I've made some good gains on NFTs. Well, yeah, I'm not saying you can't trade and make good money, but they are tax shelter, in my opinion. Macro bullish, though. They feel like this runs ICO hustle. it is going to be massive in terms of making quick money, but I'm talking about the investment component. And I think it's too early to really make too many big calls on them. Ulrich Nielsen, DKK20. Congrats again, Ulrich, on your great trade. RHT TSXV Relic. 0.74, then Rockets. 0.74. Previous, I think probably 0.7 or close above 0.94 on the smaller time frame, Ulrich. Previous resistance, that'd be a double bottom. You're looking much stronger then towards the 120, and you're talking about 0.74, 0.74 to 0.72. That would be my area that you're looking for. You are correct, as per usual, sir. Good work. Damith Diaz, $5. Thank you very much. TA on DE. Ooh, DE. Nice. John Deere. Many thanks. No worries, man. Nothing much has happened, unfortunately, since last time on DE. We have a monster potential here for a double top on DE. So if you're looking for support, you're looking right here. I would expect it to come down here as well. 324. Another stock in the markets where you look at this and you think, I'm going to be patient beaver, because being patient generally pays when it comes to these stocks. FOMOing in may not pay. 50 exponential weekly, super important area. And if it closes below, let the floodgates of shorting begin. Because at that point, you're talking about taking the double top, extrapolating it out, and pushing back down. This stock I have maintained for a while is a sugar rush. Great company. They make cool tractors, and I like tractors because I come from a farm originally, so I'm a big fan. But what I am not a fan of is that exponential gain on a company that sells tractors and machinery and robotics a little bit. So yes, 50 exponential on the weekly would be my spot to watch, sir. And if you're wondering where the bulls get back control of this market, 360. Dwayne Boyd, $5. Morning. Can you take a look at ICP crypto? Is that in the Insane Clown Posse? Anyone know what the Insane Clown Posse is? ICP. Looks like there's not much on Binance. Let's go to Bing Bon. What is Bing Bon? Okay, that's not going to work. Where is the most, maybe KuCoin? This thing looks like a disaster. Oh, this is that one that came out that was stuck in the position for 3 years. Yeah. I don't like this coin at all. I forgot about this. This is the one that was stuck for ages and then came out. You're probably looking at it because it's hitting support and you think there's value here. I don't know much about this project. As you can see, I called it the Insane Clown Posse. 52 would be a little bit of a resistance you want to get through. It is nowhere near as strong as the other cryptos, though. You can tell that in the current price action. I don't even like their logo, unfortunately. 52 would be cool. Bang, bang. And then we move up. But not much history on it. Not probably one of my favorite projects. Done Airbnb already. James Fleming wants Rolls-Royce. Let's take a look at that again. Still looks really good. Rolls-Royce flagging here on the 4-hour daily. Fantastic. Deborah Smith, I'm still holding my BlackBerry. My husband keeps telling me I can't fall in love with my stock. I am going to trade. If I'm going to trade, correct. The BlackBerry could hurt you. Let me have a look at the BlackBerry. The problem is you're not really, I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, I know Diamond Hands sounds cool and everything, but Diamond Hands is an awesome concept. Diamond Hands on BlackBerry might be like a little crazy because, the company's not that good. I'm sorry. It's not. It's mostly about short stock and squeezing them out. So you've got two choices. Either you recognize it for what it is and you have target profits and you scale out of it and you trade it, or you invest into it and it has to be treated as an investment and you hodl it and you go, that's right, I've got Diamond Hands, never selling, and possibly you never sell. But if you're trading it, you've got to know what it is. And yeah, it's on support currently, BlackBerry. What's that about DE? DE in the headlights, couldn't resist. Last joke today, I promise. Good one, Chris. That's nice. Okay, so we've got 9 minutes till the market gets open here. Let's see if we have anything that's actually setting up well. So we've got TTD, which is actually holding the support. This is the trade desk that is holding the support. We had a nice little setup earlier in the week, and it did dump straight into this 70. But I like this 70. As long as it holds, that would be good. Got maybe a little trend line you could draw through these highs. Some people will like this zone. Let's take a look at Snap. So Snap's coming back down into the support area as well. Remember, earnings is coming up. So even though this stock got crushed, remember that price elasticity. It went up huge. It dumped and going up in the direction of earnings. And why is it going up in the direction of earnings, some would say? The main reason Snap's going up is because it had great earnings last time. So the market is anticipating the earnings. Remember, it's been good earnings relatively, pretty good earnings, great earnings, fantastic earnings. What's the market going to do coming into this? It's going to consider that the earnings will be strong. And when we have an increased amount of volume as well, remember the volume's gone up here, 26 days away from earnings, you would think it starts to rally. What do you guys think about Snap? I don't even like the company. I haven't downloaded the application in 7 years. I'm a boomer when it comes to this stuff, but I don't discount the run into the earnings. AMC, we did that one. Fubo underneath support, meh. ADSK never broke through properly. Boeing on the trend line, rejected again. Unfortunate. We'll keep watching. Net, meh. It is on support if you like it, but still meh. SoFi, I don't know why that's in there. We'll get rid of that, but that's on support. Bit of a bounce if you like it. Get a follow through here. Could create a rally. Might be worth considering if you so are inclined. And CLNE is around support currently. So there are some stocks here on support. Lumen, ooh, that's a tank day, isn't it? That got smashed. Weakness candle, nothingness, and then bam, straight in. If you like Lumen, it's also around that area that you'd have interest. Probably look for a turnaround here on the smaller time frames. Right at resistance becomes support. Good role reversal zone. AMD, middle of nowhere land, resistance, support. You can see the areas. Zillow remains sick. Tencent in the middle of the range. Twitter, sick at this stage. Zoom, very sick. Just didn't. I was hoping this would have held up. Just never did. Very disgusting. PayPal, unfortunate. Similar to Square. Underneath the key area. Can't really go bullish, re-bullish on PayPal until it gets back above this 267 area. At this stage, I'm thinking more likely to go down here than to go up here. But I do like PayPal. I think it's doing all right. See you, Chan. Catch you, mate. Chantel, $2. Hey, what's your favorite time frame for single entry? Daily. Wait, if you mean single entry, do you mean like one entry for a year? Weekly. If you mean just like buying a trade, then daily. And if you mean scalping and day trading, then probably an hour. So an hour for scalping day trading, even though I'd rather be 15-minute hour on scalping. And then for normal trades, daily. And then for investments, weekly. Ain't no question. Snapchat is getting old, Mountain Fortress says. Yes, I would not take it into the earnings. I would consider the run more than anything else. Do you still like BA? I would love it if it broke through that resistance. That would be amazing. TikTok taking huge market share from Snap. I totally agree. But again, we're trading a stock, not the earnings. We try to escape the earnings as much. Can you do QS today, Tom? Let's have a look at QS for you, David. Look at QS. About support, man. Previous resistance becomes support. Bad candle coming in. So you do want to get that turnaround factor. Volume really dropping down as well. I would go down to something like a 2 hour or 1 hour. Look for turnaround stories here. Look for the lightning bolt. Look for the double bottom. Look for whatever signal you like to see in momentum, but it is at the right area for you from a technical standpoint. So we're 4 minutes off the market open here, guys. Let's recap these markets. So we expect the US 500 to come in and go up to somewhere around that 43.50. It may stop right here and just start selling off immediately, but somewhere from here to here. So if we were to draw a little box and say, where did the bears try to recontrol this market? It's going to be right in this zone here. So if you're looking for turnaround stories, it's going to be this type of thing right here. If you're looking for the big bull, then you're looking for it to break past 43.50, then do this, move towards 4,400. And if it gets through 4,400, I think the bulls can certainly get smiley faces, because really the bears must collapse the market pretty soon. They don't want to let it back above 4,400 under really any circumstances. They really pretty much don't want to get it above 43.50. So these are the key levels I'll be watching: 43.50, 4,400. If you want to go bullish, then you might have an investment plan, or from a trade plan perspective, something like that could be a area. US 100, we take a look. It's opening up exactly where the previous supports have been. We know 14.8 is the technical bigger support. So again, we draw our box. You want to pick a range. There's your range. And all you're looking for is, if you wanted to go bearish, you're looking for those turnaround signals here. And if you want to go bullish, you're looking for a closure, pullback, rally to something around the 15,000 level, 14,950. What do you guys think right now? We are 2 minutes off the market open. Are you bullish or bearish for today? Let us know in the chat right now. We'll watch Tesla come into the market. We'll watch the US 500 and US 100. And we'll also watch Apple, because I've got my eyes on Apple. This close means a lot to me for the next week of sentiment. This close underneath 141. Ooh, baby, let's go. And if we bounce, well, we have to wait. I would celebrate that. Okay, here they go. Man, bear, pig. Von Louis watches a lot of South Park. I'm groundhog today. Bull, then sideways. Bullish. All my biggest holdings gapped up nicely. Cool, Carl. HE says bull in bear skin. I'm itchy. Fair enough. Scott Morgan, bearish today. Bull, bear, chop, chop. Bear, bullish, bear. You guys are half and half from what I'm seeing here. SPR. Do we have time? What SPR? Spirit Aero Systems. Looks okay if you're long. Not hard. About support. Anyway, here we go. Ding, ding, ding. The market's open, guys. So we open here just underneath the resistance. We open at 14,722. The Apples opens at 141.82, just above the support. And the US 500 comes in at 4329. Possible run to 4350 early here. I could see some buying the dips occurring into our red zones. And if the bears are going to get control, they want to control it right here. Ideally for the options market, it does this all day. And if it did that, smiley faces on Wall Street. Watch Apple. Apple, Apple, Apple. It's going to be a big one. So Apple at 0.04 here still looks quite sick. The rest of the market opens relatively okay. 0.6 on the Dow, 0.58 or 0.48, sorry, on the US 500, and 0.27 on the Nas. 10-year is up 1.49. Remember, 10-year past 1.55 will shock the markets as well. Something I'd watch. VIX down to 22. Bigger markets, anything open here that's crazy? Not in that watch list. Airbnb doing well, good for it. Zoom coming back with a bit of a vengeance, 4.27. Lumen and Snap coming back, good price elasticity there on Snap. Boeing, cool. I'll be happy if Boeing can get above some key zones. And what did Tesla do? 775, nothing. I have to get the Boeing up here for a second. With that move, where are we? Boeing. My Intel is going up here. Thank you. Stupid Intel. Let's load BA. And so I like BA, but I want it to close above the trend line. That's a recovery to me. The story so far looks good, but not fantastic. NAS now weakening. I really feel like these boxes make a lot of sense for the session, and keep watching Apple. Apple, Microsoft, these two stocks move the markets. Apple just went negative 0.09. Closures underneath this level mean something. We haven't even seen a 1 hour close below here. So these will be the drivers of the market. Do you guys agree that Apple and Microsoft are going to drive this market right now? Pins, 4.38%. Cool. I like this. How many days till Pins earnings? 35. Trend line down. Go to the daily. Oh, not the daily, the 4 hour. Wrong chart. My bad, guys. There we go. I wonder if that goes all the way back. No. Pins is rallying, but not through key zones. I'm not interested in Pins till past 55. There's plenty of cake, guys. Plenty of cheese in Pins should we see recovery. We watch it for a very good reason, and that's because the patient beaver is going to get the worm on some of these runs into earnings. Remember, running into earnings and optimism is the best thing that we can be looking for. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Walmart are good indicators. Correct, James. You are a big brain. Very big brain. Big Dipper, $5. Thanks for all the morning shows. See you on your new afternoon time slot. Thank you very much, Big Dipper. I appreciate that. And Greg Hartman says, Tom, Pins moving up nicely. Yes. Right into the trend line, though. Some profit taking may happen there, but I am interested in Pins in the future. Thank you very much, Big Dipper. Appreciate your support, sir. Greg Hartman says, thanks, man. Have a great weekend. No worries, man. All right, we are watching the old apples get through to the new low. Come on, Apple. Give us the 130, 135 action. That's what we want. Come on in. Trickle in. Trickle in, Apple. Bring it over. This stock, Microsoft, Google, they're the ones that we watch. Walmart's a good one as well to watch. US 100 showing some weakness. We need closures underneath the zones. Little bit of rejection wick here on the US 500. Hit our little red range. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. Oh, that's the one we're on. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, so some weakness coming through. It is Friday, so tricky buggers, but these particular types of weakness candles, should this end up closing down in 25 minutes, then following through, some people may scalp that. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. It's been a long week for me. Congrats if you've done well this week being nimble and fast. I hope many of you have. Thank you so much for your support here on the streams. I hope you've enjoyed the morning sessions. We've been doing them now for 7 months. I don't know, 8 months straight. So it's been pretty good. So remember, subscribe if you enjoy the content. We will be moving the stream to the closes next week. I'd really appreciate your support if you're able to make it there. I personally think the closes are more fun than the opens from a perspective of getting actually good trades versus, getting a lot of mixture of crap, really, which is what does happen during the opens. This is where retail is. Big boys are at the back. They're at the close. So we are going to the close for time. Hopefully you guys join us there. And if you enjoy our daily content, remember to subscribe as well. New video coming talking about the Friday close on the weekend, and we'll continue to pump content that you want. Give me feedback in the Discord community, links in the description down below. I'm always open to anything. If people have good opinions, I don't know everything. I don't know everything you guys want. So when we listen, I always feel like the product improves and we can improve as a community together. So hopefully you've enjoyed the options talk. Hopefully you've enjoyed what we've done here with the opens. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye for now. No worries, Sean. Well, thank you very much for joining us every other time. Close is 10 p.m. in Europe. Sad face. You got no excuses, Ralph. It's 11:40 right now. By the time the open happens, it'll be 1:30 a.m. for me. So, yeah, it's pretty rough. Maybe I need to move to America, right, guys? The best market in the world. It's damn good. Unless it's dividends, then Australia is the best market in the world. All right. Ciao, guys. Have a great weekend and enjoy some Chick-fil-A. I heard it's pretty good.